Are you kidding me right now? Two giant trucks just barreled across my front lawn at 3:30 a.m. and parked themselves right in my garage, without so much as a "hey, can I?" This woman next door, Melody Blackwood, thinks she owns the place and can just bulldoze through my life. But man, she's about to learn just how wrong that is. Because that garage isn't just a garage, it's a lifeline. And Melody's clueless about what she's really messing with. Neighbors are starting to stir, rubbing sleep from their eyes. But when they find out what's actually inside that garage, Melody's going to regret ever moving in. You gotta tell me where you're watching from, 'cause this kind of madness doesn't happen everywhere. So here I am, jolted awake by the roar of diesel engines loud enough to wake the dead, staring out my bedroom window to see two massive trucks tearing up my yard like it's their personal racetrack. My German Shepherd, Rex, is barking like crazy. He's never wrong about trouble. By dawn, I step outside, half hoping it's some kind of emergency, but no. What I find is just insanity. One dump truck plastered with Blackwood Gardens is blocking my garage like it's a fortress wall, while a Silverado with a Blessed Mom decal is parked just behind it. Diesel is leaking all over my spotless concrete, and inside my garage, about 50 grand worth of county sheriff equipment completely trapped, right before Deputy Harris's weekly check-in. Yeah, this ain't random. Then here she comes, strutting out of her McMansion like she owns the whole neighborhood, a textbook Karen with that perfect angled bob and everything, Starbucks cup in hand, wearing entitlement like a badge. She barks, "This is emergency parking. I have every right to use community space." I'm a patient man. 28 years as a mechanic taught me yelling doesn't fix things, but this is my property. I calmly tell her, "Ma'am, that's my garage. Could you please move your trucks?" She snaps back, "I don't need your permission. Rules say I can park wherever I want." Then she threatens to call 911 about my illegal business. Illegal business? Lady, I store county sheriff gear in there. But that's when it hit me. She wasn't asking to be neighborly. Nope, this stunt only works if I'm caught off guard. She wants chaos. She needs it. And I'm standing right in the middle of her carefully crafted mess. See, here's the backstory most people don't know. I'm Frank Thompson, Army vet, retired mechanic, and widower for 2 years after Linda passed from cancer. I live on disability and a county contract that pays me $800 a month to store sheriff equipment in my garage, a secure spot perfect for emergencies. That money covers mortgage, utilities, even what's left of Linda's medical bills. Lose it, and I lose my home. Melody Blackwood? She moved in 6 months ago, and Rex's immediate hostility toward her told me something was off. Turns out Melody's a desperate single mom drowning in debt, $180,000 owed to suppliers, foreclosure notice 3 weeks old, 2 teenage daughters with college dreams she can't afford, and an ex-husband who disappeared after an oil rig accident. For months, she's been studying insurance scams online, targeting vulnerable people with government contracts. And she picked me as her mark. She thought hitting county sheriff gear meant a big payout with less hassle, government liability, and all that. But what she didn't get is desperation doesn't justify wrecking other people's lives, especially veterans just trying to survive. Her plan was sick but methodical. Park trucks to force dangerous maneuvers for Deputy Harris, accidentally knock over expensive equipment, take stage photos with professional cameras, and milk it for insurance money. Alarm bells? They were ringing loud. She knew too much about the sheriff's schedule, had expensive camera gear, and Rex's constant growling at her said it all. Plus, she asked way too many detailed questions about insurance and county procedures for a nosy neighbor. When Deputy Harris came by and saw the chaos, he warned me, "Frank, this is a safety hazard. The county might reconsider our contract if this keeps up." That's when I realized this was no accident. Melody was targeting me, my livelihood, my home. Then the real shock hit. I found forged insurance papers in my mailbox. Commercial liability coverage for $500,000 under a business I never formed. Someone had stolen my identity to pull off this fraud. That evening, through her open window, I overheard Melody on the phone plotting with a man named Tony. Everything's set. The old man has no clue. We staged the accident last Thursday, $200,000 split. But then Tony warned, if he gets suspicious, we handle it. Accidents happen to nosy neighbors. I had no choice but to call in backup. Eleanor Patterson, who coordinated with the FBI. Rex, my PTSD service dog, stayed alert as this suburban nightmare turned federal case. The next day, Melody lost it when I asked her to move her trucks for Deputy Collins. Classic Karen meltdown, waving fake HOA papers, shouting about her rights, live-streaming accusations of harassment. She even filed complaints against me, demanding the county stop the contract. But when I laid down the official contract and explained federal protection on the garage, the room went silent. Melody's smugness flipped to shock, then rage. Turns out, messing with federal property has consequences she never imagined. What surprised me most? The neighborhood rallied behind me. Eleanor organized Operation Karen Watch, a Ring doorbell network, neighborhood patrols, daily updates. Local businesses banned Melody. Teens made Melody Bingo out of her catchphrases. Our community bonded over the fight, stronger than ever. Then I learned Tony Brennan was no amateur. Former insurance adjuster fired for fraud, leading a multi-state criminal network worth millions. Under FBI surveillance for 18 months, he found Melody online, financially desperate, easy to manipulate into crime. On the big day, Tony's plan went sideways. Deputy Collins, a seasoned cop, saw through their staged accident immediately. Melody's overacting was so fake even a civilian would notice. My cameras caught it all, Tony directing her like a director on set, Rex calm as ever. Sensing no real distress, County Internal Affairs launched an investigation, suspending my contract. But then FBI agent Rebecca Walsh arrived with a search warrant. Tony's criminal empire was crumbling. Dozens of victims, millions in fraud, and Melody caught in the middle, facing decades in federal prison. Tony tried to flee with cash and fake IDs, but got caught at the airport. Meanwhile, Melody faced a choice: cooperate fully or face long prison time and lose custody of her daughters. She broke down but began to turn things around, wearing recording devices, providing evidence, testifying against Tony's network. But Tony's retaliation was brutal: vandalism, threats, even attempts to intimidate neighbors. It felt like Afghanistan all over again. Yet, our community stood firm, organizing patrols, installing cameras, checking on vulnerable residents. Rex became a local hero, calming kids and symbolizing our resilience. In a final twist, Melody warned me of Tony's plan to eliminate me during a federal evidence transfer. Thanks to her call. In a neighborhood that wouldn't back down, law enforcement intercepted the attack. Tony's network was dismantled, arrests made. Months later, in court, Tony faced life in prison, hefty restitution, and a lifetime ban from insurance work. Melody took responsibility, expressing genuine remorse. Our neighborhood healed, stronger and wiser, with new traditions celebrating safety and unity. I even got a book deal, How I Caught a Federal Karen, with proceeds going to veterans charities. Rex became a certified therapy dog, helping other vets cope with trauma. Melody started rebuilding, working legit, paying restitution, and slowly earning trust back. But just when I thought it was over, an unmarked envelope slipped under my door. A photo of Tony walking free with a note. Early release for exceptional cooperation. We'll be in touch, Frank. My stomach dropped. How does a guy like that get out early? Who helped him? And what does this mean for me? 1 year later. I'm not just a survivor. I'm an advocate, testifying before state legislatures on fraud prevention, working with veteran groups, consulting for the FBI, and helping communities stay safe. Our neighborhood is a model for resilience, trust, and vigilance. So here's the question I leave you with. When someone parks their truck without asking, is it just bad manners or a sign of something deeper? And when desperation drives people to crime, where do we draw the line between justice and mercy? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from? What do you think happens next? Because in this story, like in life, nothing is ever quite finished.